Hello everyone and welcome to another Minecraft tutorial video. So in this one, I'm going to show you guys how to set up a refined storage system and automate it. So this one should be pretty quick. So the first thing you need to do is have a source of power. So I just have a creative capacitor bank here. Then you need to make a solderer, which is pretty easy to do. So all you need is sticky pistons, quartz enriched iron, and you get the quartz enriched iron by just taking nether quartz and putting it in a center with iron around it just like that. And that'll give you quartz enriched iron. So once you've got the solderer, you can stick that right there. And then you'll have everything you need to make a controller, which is right here. So you'll just need silicone, a machine casing, and quartz enriched iron. You're going to need a lot of quartz enriched iron to do this, but you'll need to put quartz enriched iron like this to get a machine casing, and then that'll allow you to get the controller. So we'll grab that out of here, and that one goes right here, and that's going to power the solderer. So when we select this, it'll say it's got a solderer connected up to it. Then from there, you're going to need a grid. I usually take the grid and then immediately make it up into a crafting grid, which is entirely up to you. But you can craft in a crafting grid and you can't in a regular grid. So the regular grid, you just need the construction core, 2 improved processors, and a destruction core with a machine casing and 4 pieces of quartz. So this is all pretty easy. The improved processor is just made by a printed improved processor, I printed silicone and a piece of redstone, and you get these by taking one of these items here. So let me just grab it all. So you take iron, diamond, gold, or silicone and put it in your solderer, and you're going to end up with these improved printed or basic advanced pieces here. Where are they? So stuff like this. You'll end up with these basic processors, or these improved processors, or these advanced processors, once you fully completed this. So then we would take this, put redstone and a printed silicone, which we can just make right now. So once you've got this made up, you'll pretty much be able to make every single piece of refined storage that you need to by just using the solderer. So after we've got that, let's grab that. We're going to put the crafting grid up, because that's the one I normally use, but you could put the grid up either way, so we'll throw that one there. Then you kind of want to use some cables from here on out and try to connect everything together. So we'll grab a couple cables. This is just, mainly you can use the cables so that you can extend the range of this. So if I wanted to put a piece over here, but I needed something here, I could still connect this up to the actual refined storage system. But if we had a gap here and put a block here, it wouldn't connect up. So that's why the cables are always good to use. So after we've got this system here, I'm actually going to move this solderer up 1 block. Once we've got that like that, you're pretty much good to set up a disk drive from this point on. So the disk drive you can put anywhere. For the sake of this, I'm just going to put it right here, but you can put it anywhere on this line. And once you've got the disk drive put in place, you just need to make storage disks. So for the sake of this, I'm going to grab a regular storage disk, but you can make one with quartz enriched iron, glass, which actually I should have I think I grabbed everything to do it. So let's see. Let's see if I can grab a piece of redstone. There we go. And we'll stick that in there. We'll just need the glass. And 4 pieces of silicone. So I'll need 1 more. There we go. We'll stick that in there, and this is going to give you what you need. So there we go. We got a 1K storage part, so we can take that, and you just need a couple extra pieces of the glass, redstone, and quartz enriched iron to get a 1K storage disk. But we're going to just take one out of here. There we go. So we'll grab a 1K storage disk, and we can plop that right in here. So now our refined storage can start holding items. So we can stick everything we have straight in there. And now we've got refined storage up and running for 1,000 items. Now, if you wanted to automate the making of refined storage, you can, and it's actually pretty easy. So all you're going to need is a crafter, a processing pattern encoder, and a pattern grid with some patterns. So we're probably going to actually need some extra patterns, but we'll leave it at that. So all you'll have to do is stick something back here. So let's see, I'll do 2 blocks back here. And then you just stick your crafter directly behind your solderer so that this blue dot is pointing into your solderer. Then you need an importer on the bottom, which is in my refined storage now. So let's see, we need an importer. So we can stick the importer directly on the bottom. And now we just need to make a pattern. So you stick your processing pattern encoder on the line and your pattern grid. Now we can stick a pattern in there. And this is a good point to differentiate between the two. So the processing pattern encoder is what you need to make stuff with the solderer. The regular pattern grid is what you need to just make stuff in refined storage, just crafting grid. So just keep a close eye on that. Make sure you're using the correct one so that you don't run into issues with this. But for this one, we need the processing pattern encoder. And we want to make this, say, let's make a printed basic processor. So we'll say make one of those out of what is here. The iron, it turns into the printed basic processor. And now we can put this inside of this crafter. And if we've got a piece of iron in here, which we do, we can say make one of those. So we'll hit start, and we're missing a piece of iron. So let's throw some iron in there, which is weird because we did have a piece in there. But so we'll grab some iron. And I want 10 pieces. So we'll say make one of these with Control and Shift. If you're just doing it, you can just hit Control. But if you actually have a printed processor in there, if it says craft, just hit Control. If it doesn't say craft, hit Control Shift. So then we can say start, and the solderer will turn on and start making that. And then it'll automatically take it back out and put it back in the system via that importer. So it's important that you have an importer and not an exporter here. And then from there, we'll make one more. And we want to make this one with the regular pattern grid, which means we're going to need another pattern. Let's see. There it is. So we'll grab that and throw that in there, right in there. And this is just going to say make me diamond blocks. So once that's done, we can stick this in here. And now, because we made it in the correct one, we can say make me 1 block of iron. It'll say I want a block of iron made out of 9 ingots. Hit start and it'll automatically do it. So this is a pretty good system. You can have a whole line of solderers here with a whole line of patterns or crafters with patterns in them. And you just have to say what you want it to make in that solder. So if I wanted the basic processors made in this one, the one made out of gold in this one, and the advanced one made out of diamond in this one, I just have to say what I want in that crafter and it'll make it in there. But what you can do is make a line of these, or just, if you want it to take forever, you can stick everything you need for a 64K storage disk drive in here, and it'll make it all out of this solderer, which will take a long time to do. So my recommendation is to have 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 solderers with crafters and patterns in them, so that you're able to just craft everything up pretty quickly, because it'll separate all of those components into the correct solderer and do it pretty quickly. But basically, this is how you automate refined storage. So I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful with setting up your own refined storage system and even automating it to make those 64K storage disk parts so that you don't have to do all that work yourself. But I appreciate you guys watching this tutorial, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.